Hi everybody! Thanks for stopping by to check out the latest from Sailing Emerald Steel. As always, we'd like to thank all of you for your comments and thumbs up on our last video. We really appreciate it. I love hearing from you guys.
The time has come to make a decision if you continue going north or turn around and go south. It's been already past middle of the summer, and a lot of people who go to Alaska, they really go there in a hurry, turn around and come back so they can make it all in one season. We don't really like to cruise that way. We like to spend time in Anchorage, especially we like the places for a longer time. Spending another winter up there, Pacific Northwest, was not very appealing due to a very rough weather, cold, especially us who always anchoring out. But that was not even the major reason why we decided to go south. The major reason was this: that once you get north of Desolation Sound, you run into tight channels which have a very strong currents. Yeah. Some of them running 10 knots plus. So pretty much place for a powerboat or a sailboat who acts as a powerboat.
Well, very dependable. You have to depend on your engine a lot.
Yes, because there is no way, totally out of question, to depend on your sails, because you have to wait for a slack tide, and then you have to hurry to get through the passage, because otherwise you will never make it against that. So you cannot really wait for a right winds and try to sail. Yes. So we had to make a decision, and this time we better turn around and go south, because our engine is over 30 years old. It's a Peugeot, which is obsolete. There is no spare parts for it. There is no place you can get any kind of repair done to it if something major happened. And we were in a dilemma. Then our visa was only good for 6 months, and if you get stuck there someplace, you would have to fly out of there, leave our boat behind, and there is not really an option because our boat is our home. Yep. So, and also ordering a new engine and have it installed in the middle of the nowhere is not very smart, practical, nor we have that much money to afford it. So after a while thinking, we decided, and there will always be a next time, and the right way would be to next time if you get to Hawaii, to sail up to Kodiak in open ocean, and then from there explore Alaska.
So we're just sailing on the side of Texada Island over here. Got a nice little breeze coming.
We are heading towards Strait of Georgia on the way back south. A nice 15 knots of wind. We're doing 6.5 knots. So it's supposed to be a nice day. Afternoon wind's supposed to pick up to 20 knots, so who knows. As long as stay from the north side instead of south wind. Because south of Nanaimo, wind's supposed to turn it to southwest. Can't wait to get back south.
Julius wants to go south.
It's very pretty here, but a lack of warm days.
Yeah.
It's otherwise very nice.
We're heading towards Nanaimo, where we'll stop for a few days. I want to buy some whole wheat and rye flour, which is good quality and they sell in bulk. Afterwards we stop in Friday Harbor to check in with customs before continuing across the Straits of Juan de Fuca to Port Angeles.
When we got to Port Angeles, we came there in the night, and we anchored in the same place which we anchored a year earlier. No one was there except us. It's interesting that all cruisers come into Port Angeles, they go straight to a marina, which is much more protected because although harbor is nice, the problem is that the eastern part is totally open into the straits. So if a wind blows, it can build up some chops and also can get uncomfortable. So I can kind of understand why people don't want to take chances. But next morning we had a really big scare. As we were downstairs, Susan was making a breakfast. Suddenly I heard a big horn from a large ship, and I run to the hedge, stick my head out, and I see that big ship coming straight directly at us. The first thing went through my mind, my God, did we dragged and got end up in the middle of the channel? But only a minute or so later, the ship turned, and then I realized the ferry, yeah, which was running between Port Angeles and Victoria, Canada, and that was its normal route to get into the harbor. But anyway, my heart was pounding very hard for a second, thinking that I'm on the way of the shipping line.
We anchored in front of the Red Lion Hotel. There is a small beach there where you can land your dinghy, and from there it's just a short walk to Safeway, which has a good selection to supply your boat for the upcoming passage. At the harbor they have some really nice murals depicting scenes from the past.
Our hard dinghy also have a flotation compartment, which we're also using for storing our rubber boots, etc. In a place like this here, where the beach consists mainly of the small rocks, we like to bring our hard dinghy, because inflatable is not the smartest thing to drag up on the rocks. Also, in the case of stealing, a hard dinghy is not so easy to steal and hide it, because inflatable you can always deflate it and put it down below. Now, as you can see here, we have wheels on our dinghy, so it's easy to lift it up and carry up high in the beach, so you're away from the high tide. And also we always make sure we lock her up with a cable to whatever place possible. In this case is rocks.
And your oars.
And also the oars.
Having dinghy wheels makes things much easier, especially when you have a long way to pull, and they also protect the bottom from getting damaged. Once your dinghy gets in the water, you can fold up the wheels, and it makes it quite handy. We use our dinghy wheels. They're indispensable for us. When we're in a quiet anchorage and it's not too far, we use our hard dinghy and we find it quite enjoyable to row. We just returned from the store and Jules is unloading the groceries onto the deck. So when we got back to the boat, we had to stow away all of our provisions that we bought. The potatoes, onions, and fresh vegetables we store in the bilges. The canned goods we keep underneath our settees. And the meats and cheeses and refrigerated items we put into the refrigerator. But first I had to defrost so it would keep everything nice and cold.
When you leave Port Angeles, it's a good to time it so then you have a current with you. And then once you leave, you want to go as fast as you can, so you try to make it in 8 hours or so to Nia Bay before the current turn against you. That's exactly what we've done it. We left it early in the morning. It was about 3 o'clock or so.
You got a little bit of tide against us at the beginning, yeah?
But then we were making 8-9 knots progress, so it was good. It was nice, fast passage. It was a little foggy at places, but
it was kind of bumpy too. We had some swells coming
bumpy, yes.
Just 3 o'clock in the morning, just leaving Port Angeles and heading up the straits towards Nia Bay. There's a Coast Guard station. It's pretty dark out.
Yeah. After a year in the Pacific Northwest, we are heading back towards the ocean. For a year we've been inside in the inland waters, Gulf Islands, Canada, up the Desolation Sound and so forth in St. Lawrence.
So we're heading down the straits, or up the straits, I guess. Down the straits, heading down the straits of Juan de Fuca. And we left 3:30 this morning. Pretty much shipping out here. We haven't had any fog or anything yet. but we've got a nice little swell. So it's a little bit lumpy, but there's no wind. We've got the current with us, giving us an extra 2.5 knots at the moment. Our speed is about 8.5 or so. Yeah, 8.5 knots. And we're hoping to be in Nia Bay in about 2.5 hours. Just off of Clallam Bay right now. A gale warning last night. I think this is just the remnants of the swell coming in still. Okay everybody, I guess that's it for now. In the next episode we're going to be heading down the coast. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to leave a comment and a thumb up if you liked the video, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.